I'm talking about the situation with Pirate Software, someone that initially grew in popularity, supposedly working in the industry at places like Blizzard.
And he definitely was not like an industry plant or anything.
He went from one of the most liked influencers to one of the most hated, primarily due to his own ego.
He quadrupled down into irrelevancy, so I mean you kind of have to respect that.
Unfortunately, people do still show up in his comments and his Twitch streams to troll him.
For the most part, people are going to leave you alone. They're not going to really say anything, but once like the crack happens, once it rains, it pours.
It's been 3 months and the internet has pretty much moved on from Pirate. He is actively bleeding around 50,000 subscribers per month. On Twitch, where he streams semi-regularly, he lost around 200,000 followers, and his average viewers per stream went from the ballpark of 10,000 to 2,000. Admittedly, it is quite the dip.
What is he going to be able to return with? Not good at programming games. He's not good at video games. I don't know how good his commentary is. I really genuinely don't see a way for him to like come back. All right, silly gooses. I'm kind of curious about this. This is the aftermath of Pirate Software from Royalty is here. I'm just curious. It's been a while since we looked at Pirate Software, man. Let's just take a look. Let's take a look in a book. It's reading rainbow time, baby.
So if you weren't present on the internet about 3 to 4 months ago,
then you're lucky. Okay, what the hell are we doing, dude? We got to get offline.
You probably didn't see arguably the biggest spectacle of self-sabotage and meltdown of someone's career on the internet. Like, I'm talking the biggest whiff I've ever seen.
Yeah, I thought that was I was surprised that that was even like a big thing, you know? But it really turned into a whole fucking skidoo. Pirate Software. He's just kind of a rude guy, man. Like, you know what I mean? This is a rude guy.
Like worse than Summit 1G's Molotov incident. Worse than losing Midwinter Mirage with an AWP because you couldn't stop shaking like a grandma with Parkinson's.
Whoa, leave Michael J. Fox alone.
Bit of a long comparison there, but this situation cannot be underestimated. Especially with the fact it could have all been solved or at least minimized by the—
Dude, I watched that Dr. K conversation. It was wild. Pirate Software really just has no humility, honestly. He really just, he's very confident, is what you could say. He's a very confident guy. He really thinks very highly of himself. So, is it really that bad of a thing to think highly of yourself, chat? Chat, is it that bad?
The uttering of 2 words. But anyway, if you don't know, I'm talking about the situation with Pirate Software or Jason Thor Hall. Someone that initially grew in popularity around 2022 due to his success on platforms.
Guys, and he definitely was not like an industry plant or anything, just so you know, okay?
It's like YouTube Shorts. Something that
bro, YouTube Shorts fucking pisses me off, bro. I don't know what it is, but like I can't get any viral clips on YouTube Shorts. I could get viral on TikTok. I got 30 million views this month so far. Pay his dick, but whatever. I get viral on Facebook. I get viral on Instagram. I could even occasionally get viral on Snapchat. Twitter, not really at all. And fucking YouTube, it just can't do it. It doesn't work. I don't understand. It triggers the fuck out of me.
Genuinely perplexed people at the time due to how aggressively YouTube was serving up his content. Like, even I was affected when I did use YouTube Shorts. But I've moved on to greener pastures. I'm now enjoying my counterfeit, lively content on Instagram Reels. But he gained a lot.
It just sucks because it's not a bad platform to get views on, but like, you don't get any pay on there, so it's so fucking annoying.
Large audience partially due.
Chat, I'm complaining about money. Do you guys like it when I do that? Does it make me seem really super relatable?
Due to these shorts. Because not only could you learn things from them like hotkeys, I triple doggy donkey dare you to press Ctrl Alt Shift Windows T. I bet you won't, you little bitch. But he also encouraged you to do things like make games. From the perspective of someone that supposedly had years of experience from making his own games, and
well, he did. He just didn't have any. He just didn't really develop much skill from it.
Supposedly working in the industry at places like Blizzard. But
I think he did like what, quality control or something? Something stupid like that.
He won't actually let you know that. He's very secretive about that fact.
When I worked at Blizzard.
He's never said it before, actually.
I did that for Blizzard. Blizzard, 7 years, yeah. Blizzard. I used to work at Blizzard Entertainment.
Are you serious? You worked at Blizzard for 7 years? I'm not triggered with this game at all. How the fuck do I get back?
I used to work at Blizzard Entertainment. Your red team specialist for Blizzard Entertainment. And Blizzard.
He did like quality control. Like that's pretty much it. He didn't really make anything when he worked there, so.
Blizzard.
But he built his platform from there. Most people liked his character and he genuinely inspired people to start making their own games.
That's a beautiful thing. I hope that there are so many people who made some really good games because of that, okay?
Can't take that away.
Guys, some people say that the makers of this game were inspired by Pirate Software. I don't know who said that, but Some people say that. They did say that. I don't know.
Away from him. But not only were people watching his shorts, the success also leaked onto his long-form content, and then later his streaming career, where he would usually average upwards of 10,000 viewers per stream, and even winning the Best Software and Game Development Streamer Award in 2023.
You guys know that he was also the rising star like 2 years twice? Isn't that fucking incredible?
And his popularity only grew from there. You could say at this point Pirate Software was at the tippity top of his career, before it all
I personally wouldn't phrase things in that way, but you could say that if you wanted to.
seemingly went so very, very wrong. And he went from one of the most liked influencers to one of the most hated in a short amount of time, primarily due to his own ego, and the fact he'll vehemently defend any hill he chooses to die on.
Yeah, it really blew up for him over that like stop killing games shit where that one guy, Ross, cool dude, was like, hey, games shouldn't be able to, like, single player games shouldn't really be able to just decide that they're gonna go away. We should maybe do something about that. And he's like, no, fuck you. Okay, I can't believe you ever would even suggest something like that. That's disgusting. That was basically his take on it.
Commonly spreading the rhetoric that everyone else is the problem and not him, even if without it.
Hey, Base King. Listen, he quadrupled down into irrelevancy. So, I mean, you kind of have to respect that, honestly. Let's see. The videos he puts out don't exactly have a whole lot of views. That's a little rough. Puts one out every couple weeks, I guess. That's a little rough. Game Jam. All right. Well, it's something. He still streams. Streams are a little low. 12 hours. How do you stream for 12 hours a day? That's fucking crazy. He streams for 12 hours a day, and he gets about 10K views. That's rough, man. That's a little rough. That's like Papa Gut numbers, to be honest with you. Holy shit. I don't know. Okay. What does he do? Shorts? I mean, I don't know. Like, he doesn't really post content. It's one of the problems with trying to be like a streamer. People have to like you. I know that sounds weird, but they have to like know about you. He's got to make more. Okay, whatever. I mean, he's rich anyway, I think, so who cares?
I doubt he has been proven to be wrong.
I'll admit when I'm wrong, when I feel that I'm wrong. But if I don't feel that I'm wrong and you do, that doesn't mean I owe you an apology.
Based?
Right? Just because you're upset doesn't mean I owe you an apology. And that's something that a lot of people don't seem to understand on the internet.
Okay.
This has led people to call him
That's pretty based. Oh.
arrogant, to a liar, to a narcissist, to even a lolcow at this point. And just all
Yeah, I think he's kind of gotten to that spot, man.
around people no longer trust the words that come out of his mouth. And what makes it worse is even if he still went down this path of never admitting he was wrong, I think he would have probably gotten away with it and have been probably fine if he just didn't respond to the people criticizing him the way he did. Because as a
oh yeah, he just gave people more ammunition. For sure, I can agree with that.
content creator with the backlash, he had 3 choices he could have made. He could have sincerely apologized, which, to be fair, with Pirate Software, you would have a better chance of betting your entire life savings on green at a roulette table and winning. Or you could take the
Is that a good idea? Should I do that?
chaotic neutral approach and just ignore everything, don't speak about it, and hopefully it will all eventually blow over. It won't entirely blow over, but the less you feed a fire, the less fuel it has. Then we have arguably the worst option, which Pirate Software chose, which is responding to most of your critics directly, affirming them you are right and they are wrong, essentially doubling down and in some cases tripling down, even when in some cases it has been proven you were in the wrong, and refuse.
Well, he didn't just disagree with that Ross guy. He was like a dick about it. He could be like, I get what you're saying, but I don't know if it'd be a good infrastructure thing. He was like really railing against that Ross dude. That was just trying to make sure people, you know, when you bought a video game, you were able to play it forever. God forbid, you know, what a bad guy.
Refusing to communicate and banning or blocking anyone that has a different opinion to you or is criticizing you. In one instance, saying content creators giving their takes on this are being reported to Twitch for fueling the harassment, but in general just actively responding to criticism in a hostile way just keeps fueling the fire and gives people more of a reason to troll you. I think at one point
That's true. And then once people feel like you're completely not aware of yourself, which I think that Pirate Software basically got to that point, they're going to consider you a lol cow. And then the more you go, I'm not a lol cow, the more people are going to go, oh, you're not very aware of yourself. Like, that's kind of the cycle of that. You know, you don't really win there, you know? And I don't know how much does Pirate Software really have to offer. I don't know. I feel like there's certain people that even if you don't like them, you could start to respect them again if they're well, I guess anybody, if they're like a talented at whatever craft they do. But that's one of the problems too, right? Is like Pirate Software seems to struggle to even be like a good game designer. And so people can't even be like, oh, I respect that. It's kind of tough because he's just kind of stinky, right? Like he's not that great. Fuck. That's one of the problems too. Like he's not even necessarily that great at like, if he was like really good at making games and shit, people I think would have been like, oh, okay, whatever. Like we can move on from this because he's actually like really good at creating games. But I don't think that he is. Truthfully, it doesn't really seem like he's that good at making games. So he kind of struggles with that as well.
He even had a ban counter on his live stream, showing the amount of people that had been banned in that stream alone, in some cases for just mentioning the events that were happening around him.
Well, I mean, again, I think it's fine to like ban people or whatever if you feel like they're being annoying. Why would you like do a ban counter though? That part seems really dumb. That's like why are you proud of it? It should be something that you're like, okay, I'm gonna stop dealing with people coming in here and being annoying. I'm gonna ban them. Okay, like well, that's one thing. You're gonna ban counter them? That's just ridiculous. Like it's like not like optically a good move. Whoever would like, oh, I love this behavior, you know?
And someone also speedran being banned in his chat. I think if he didn't do things this way, the drama would have come and went, and he would have had an infinitely easier path to redeem his online career. But some people did take it too far, to be honest. Allegedly doxing him, sending death threats, and some even made fun of one of his ferrets dying.
Oh, damn, not his ferrets. I felt like it was, to me, and people got like, they gave me a lot of shit for this. I felt like it was weird when like the former person that worked with him at Twitch, how could I say Twitch? It's obviously Blizzard. Was like talking shit about him. Like that was weird because some of the shit that he was saying was just so stupid, or she was saying, and I was like, this seems like bizarre. Are you fucking kidding me right now? Oh my fucking tits. I felt like it was just weird. It's like, why are we getting that deep in there? And it just turns out he was a little bit of a dickhead. It's like, okay, cool. I don't know. It seemed like too much to me. But people got upset with me. They were like, no, you're wrong. This is totally acceptable behavior. And I was like, all right, whatever. Like, I mean, you just disagree with me, it's fine. But it felt like she had stopped working at Blizzard, and then it seemed like she wanted to be a content creator. So it's like, okay, that seems to be the motivation for you doing this, clearly.
However, his reputation didn't just free fall overnight. There were multiple footnotes that led up to this. First, it started with the World of Warcraft situation, which happened in January of 2025. Yes, for those smart asses out there, if we went chronologically, it would be the Stop Killing Games situation. But at the time when he made that initial comment about that movement, nobody really had a problem with it or even questioned it. And
yeah, I remember that was kind of like an aftermath thing. I think people were starting to get kind of irritated with it.
If they did, they wouldn't be noticed, as the vast majority did not have any reason yet to doubt Pirate Software. It was
I'll say his fans didn't care, but then other people started to watch. I remember seeing that and be like, what the fuck is this? You know?
After things like the WoW drama and the responses from Ross from Stop Killing Games and Moist Critical, that people started to genuinely question Pirate Software and his overall character. But anyway, fuck you. Classic World of Warcraft, that game where that one guy defecated in his...
Oh yeah, dude, the classic WoW shit, bro. I fucking like forgot about all that stuff, dude. Oh man, for sure. Yeah, he just sucks at games. Dude, he sucks at games too. Oh my, you guys can see how I don't internalize everything that we talk about. I forgot that he also did a WoW. He did a silly little WoW guy. Isn't that so silly? Like, what a silly guy. Why would you do that, you know? Seems bizarre, you know? Oh shit. I'm getting cocked.
Pants playing the game.
Oh!
Guys, please stop bullying me. Put that off the screen.
God damn it! I forgot to make a health stone!
Back in early 2025, Classic WoW was mainly popping
Hey, this is similar to forgetting to use your mana stone, am I right, guys?
off in the streaming space again, down to a content creation guild called OnlyFans, comprised of many other streamers and content creators.
All very good guys by comparison, of course. All very good guys, right? Miskiff was part of it. Very good. By the way, he's actually also very good at the game. I don't know if you guys know this, but he, of course, yelled at his girlfriend for being playing the same races or class as him, because he was, nervous that she would play better than him, and you can't have that.
And they were doing hardcore classic WoW, where if you die, you have to start all over again from level 1. And it takes a while to get back to the goal of max level, where the game actually starts. And
yeah, true.
Software was a part of the aforementioned Content Guild, and claimed to be a proficient mage on top of allegedly having experience working on the game when he worked at Blizzard. However, when a group of OnlyFans members were doing a dungeon and liquid feces hit the fan, and the team pulled a mob they shouldn't have, and the party could not handle the spit roast gangbang that was about to happen, the call was made to retreat and to exit the dungeon. And Pirate Software proceeds to haul ass towards the exit, not really helping his team when they tried to.
And using abilities that waste mana, not being very mana efficient, not being able to not actually helping people leave,
recover, and wasting his mana along the way, and then complaining he had no mana to help when his teammate called him out.
And he didn't use his mana gem, guys. What the fuck? Oh shit.
And it was also alleged he had items that would restore his mana so he could help. He then left the dungeon ahead of others, 2 people died, and members of the team expressed their frustration towards Pirate, of which when confronted he left the call, something he would do again later on, when they all came together with a group leader to kind of sort it out, and when the other guys had their turn to speak, he just left.
Is what makes us so mad, Pirates.
There's no zero accountability, dude. Everyone can do something better, but when you open up and you yell over another person
can
like
I
you were doing
speak?
Nah, I'm good.
You joined
Can I speak? No, I'm good. It's fucking wild.
the call. See, like he's so egoistically.
People also began looking at
It's funny. I think Tyler 1 kind of defended him. He's like, whatever, because it's hardcore. So one of the mentalities that you operate with in hardcore is, obviously you come first. So you're not going to die for someone else. But if you're playing a mage, you take a mage for the utility of helping you and helping the party in case some shit goes down, right? So that's the problem. And again, he wasn't playing his class proficiently. He was using spells that were higher rank, even though the effects are the same, which is the effect of slowing stuff. And he just wasn't playing very well. And he bolted out the second that things went down, instead of trying to escort people out in a reasonable way.
Previous gameplay where he apparently did the same thing, on top of being a dick to other less experienced players like the streamer Lakari. In the aftermath, people assigned him the name Roach because he roached out the dungeon.
Damn, he sold that from Asmongold.
And he also proceeded to ban anyone in his Twitch chat discussing the event. He made a statement saying everyone misplayed, not just him, and he was receiving a bunch of harassment for this.
Yeah, but the problem is that when he said he misplayed, he wasn't like, oh, here's how I misplayed. Oh, yeah, this is how I misplayed. I should have done this, but he doesn't say that. He just says, yeah, guys, we all misplayed, but he won't explain it. And when you approach him on it, he doesn't say that he did anything wrong. So he's like, we all played bad. It's not. He doesn't actually believe that, Dude, this year, honestly, watching this shit, this year has been fucking crazy with drama, bro. Have you guys noticed that? It's been a fucking very lucrative year. Damn, that was fucking cringe. It's been a very lucrative year, bro. Let me tell you.
He later insinuated anyone trolling him through the in-game message system may potentially get banned because he has connections from his time at Blizzard. He called out other content creators for calling him out, saying they were cannibalizing him for content, and that he was documenting the people doing it, and reports were being made to Twitch. He started to delete and alter his clips so popular pages like Livestream Fails couldn't criticize him.
Damn, man, he should have just taken the L.
He then got kicked by the Content Creator Guild OnlyFans, of which he responded to very poorly as well, speaking bad about the guild, which just added more fuel to the fire at this point.
Because they want it to be a double down, a triple down, a quadruple down. They want to have a villain. They want to have an enemy. They want to fight that shit into the ground. They want to send death threats to people over it.
Oh, okay, relax. Nobody's saying death threats, but at least I don't really think so. But yeah, listen, here's the thing. Part of that's true. It's funny to have an enemy. I think that some people went a little too far. But you're kind of doing it to yourself, man. All internet drama is disproportionate. I'm not gonna lie about that. I understand that. That is true. But it's just dude, you're kind of doing it you're acting in a certain way. Fuck. Oh, dude, this is so cringe.
Because they're goddamn insane. Because this guild has turned into a content guild built on hate, not a content guild built on experiences.
Oh, but your experiences suck, though, because you're not a very good player. So,
because they're freaking monsters, dude.
They're fucking monsters. It's crazy. That's wild shit, brother. Wow.
The heels of that situation, a game developer made a meme saying they would implement pirate software in their game with sound effects and all as a roach, of which they provided a video, but this was an offline build. It wasn't actually
Yeah, they hadn't implemented it yet. He still hit them. It was fucking crazy.
in the game. And when Pirate Software got wind of this, he DMCA'd the whole game, claiming he was actually in the game, of which he wasn't, meaning it was a fraudulent takedown. Pirate threatened them
Wow. That's so mean, dude. I can't believe he's going after it. It's funny. I wonder if that game only like actually did well because of like him being a dick, you know?
with further litigation when they countered the claim, even saying he was going to sue them and they would lose.
So I filed a DMCA claim, and he has now filed a counterclaim against me. We're going to take you to court. You're going to.
That's crazy because I feel like especially as like a smaller creator, sometimes that could like people can abuse the system, and it can be frustrating to deal with. So I feel like it's a little point, but it's like one of those things where it's like, oh, here's just another instance where where Pirate Software has never really like he's never had the small creator experience for you not to really understand that, you know?
lose. You cannot use somebody's likeness or voice in any way inside of your games without their permission.
Whoa.
A lawyer that caught wind of
Chad, is that true?
it defended the game dev and noticed the lawyer that Pirate was waving around called Kronos, who was also one of his mods, allegedly couldn't even represent Pirate because he was
Well, dude, anybody can be anything nowadays if you have ChatGPT, so.
from the UK, and there were questions if he even practiced law. And that's pretty much it for the WoW situation. It was one of the longest controversies, and I think personally the one that started
You're chock full of slop. Dude, true. Oh, what the fuck?
the
How are you so alive?
erosion of his reputation. Yes, it started over something that happened in a game, but it was more Pirate's reaction to criticism which made people more cautious of him, his character, and just overall questioning everything about him. And fucking hell did they question everything. As the next
Oh, yeah.
situation in the same month as the WoW drama in January 2025, people started looking at his gameplay of certain puzzle games, like
Oh yeah, people claimed that he was that he like knew things too quickly. That was fucking crazy too.
Wilds
I forgot
and
about that.
Animal WoW.
Bro, sometimes it's silly, but sometimes it's just fun to like look at like a little blast in the past. But the past, you know what the coolest thing is I was playing Kingdom Hearts at that point this year. I played so many fucking games this year. I was playing Kingdom Hearts 1 maybe when we started this drama. Fuck.
And despite being heavily against spoiling or needing guides to complete these games and getting assistance from his chat, some people theorized he was actually cheating, looking up guides on his phone every time he got stuck. The main evidence being every time he
Dude, that's what I would do. I get stuck a lot, dude. I get stuck a lot. Would you believe it? Would you believe it?
did struggle a little, he would suddenly out of nowhere get the answer to the puzzle.
Wait a minute.
Wait a
I think I
minute.
just solved it.
And this included
Guys, I got it all by myself. I'm fucking based.
some puzzles where you would need knowledge beforehand, or were just really difficult, like in Animal Well, and sometimes he could be seen looking down at what people assumed was his phone. Now with this situation, in my opinion, I
What a good gamer though, dude. Look at this guy. Look at this Papa Gut guys. Look at this guys. I'm fucking based.
don't think it really mattered. If he did cheat,
You
I guess
think Pilot Software could do this? Bob, you think he could do this, dude? You think he could fucking own?
he just ruined the game for himself just to make himself look smart, which if true is on the same level as saying you actually have a girlfriend, she
That's a real girl, by the way.
just goes to another school, in a
I've done that before.
different country, in a completely different continent.
But she was real, okay?
Apart from that, I think this mainly gathered so much attention was due to it quite literally spawning after the other situation blew up. However, the next controversy to follow would very much set in stone that the tide was about to change for Pirate, because it was the Stop Killing Games debacle that occurred around June of 2025. Stop Killing Games is a movement where basically consumers actually own the games they buy, and in some capacity, if the game
Yeah, so what it was about more than anything else was it was like, hey, we want there to be an end of life plan for like pretty much. Oh shit, that was weird. For pretty much like all games, you know, and yeah, that was it. You know, if you buy a game, especially a single player game, you should be able to own that game in some capacity. And they also like lumped in smaller like online games as well. But the logic from Ross too, if you actually watch what he has to say, it's like, listen, you add, like, this is actually a really good argument too, is you ask for everything and then you settle for less. That's how it always works. Like, you know, it's a negotiation. This is more of a legal thing. So like, yeah, maybe you wouldn't be able to get like World of Warcraft to be able to be permanently functioning. That's probably true, but that's okay. Like, you're really just like, you're starting here, and we're like, hey, like, can we at least get oh fuck, can we at least get like single player games that we bought, you know, even if it has like an online component, which is usually unnecessary as fuck to have. Like, can we get those too? Dude, this actually pissed me the fuck off.
Games owners or servers ever shut down, that game will still be somewhat functional, and people will still be able to play it because, you know, they bought that game, they should fully own it. But instead, with games like The Crew, when their servers shut down, nobody could play it anymore. So this movement was created to put the ownership back into consumers' hands, and mainly surrounded the European version of it, and the spokesperson for it was Ross or Accused Farms. Pirate Software, when he heard about this movement before any drama surrounded him, basically...
I wonder what Ross is up to. Like, honestly, like, what is he doing? He doesn't really seem to make a lot of content. I think he was talking about how this was taking up a lot of his time. I wonder what he does now, though, because I feel like he was like somebody that you could really sit down with, and like he should have done like some kind of a podcast, like a gaming podcast. I feel like he really should have done a little bit more. I wonder if he's just kind of done with this. I don't know. Sad stuff.
Liquid shat all over both Ross and the movement, making assumptions, misinterpreting the movement, and just overall speaking poorly about it.
It's used car salesman garbage.
Whoa!
This is shit. It's shit. Not only do I not want to back...
Guys, well, basically, it is kind of used car salesman stuff, except Pirate Software is a used car salesman, right? Because what was Stop Killing Games? Hey, I don't want to lease games. I want to buy them. That's pretty much all it is. And then it's like, okay, I'm going to buy them. And then it's like, oh, just kidding. You actually can only lease them, even if you pay I'm going to buy them prices. That's what the problem is.
Back this? I'm going to actively tell people not to.
However, nothing really happened.
That's not petty at all.
Till after everything happened with things like the WoW drama. Ross responded basically...
Well, that's because, you know, that's just how things work for people. You know, there's kind of like an energy, I guess you could say, that everybody has. Everybody has like an energy to them. I know it sounds weird, but once it rains, it pours. Like, for the most part, people are going to leave you alone. They're not going to really say anything. But once like the crack happens, people are, oh, wait a minute. It starts to question one thing, they're going to start to question everything. That's how that works.
Correcting everything he said. Pirate heard this and in usual fashion, despite being proven wrong, stuck to his opinion and still spread misinformation and his own opinion on the movement, and refused to speak to Ross when he reached out or anyone trying to actually educate him on the subject of the movement. Then Moist Critical got involved, did his video on the situation, and it blew up even more. A lot more people were criticising Pirate, and he still did not back down or admit he was in the wrong. But he did apologise to Ross for some of the words he used towards him. However, unironically...
Yeah, but he did it in like some... Dude, first of all, everything he does, he doubles down. He concedes as much as he feels like he needs to in order to get you to agree with him. But then on top of that, like, it's not even... Like, make a video about it. That's your biggest platform. Don't like go on Twitter and make some like piss-and fucking apology, you know?
With all the attention this situation got, it quickly turned from Pirate Software killing the movement early game to actually saving it and it receiving all the signatures it needed with all the publicity happening. And Pirate still to this day refuses to admit he was wrong about the movement. And at this point, the hate for Pirate had hit its peak. Even Meat Canyon did a video about him.
Dude, the Meat Canyon video triggers me because I reacted to it, and they took my video down. They took it down for like sexual themes. And I'm like, dude, like, what the fuck? That doesn't make any sense. Like, Meat Canyon had it up and there was no problems, and then they finally put it back up after I repealed it and they rejected it, and then I went to Twitter, but they left it up with you basically couldn't see it still. That was pretty much what it comes down to. You basically couldn't see it still. Like, it was like read it out like it was significantly fucked. So whatever, what are you gonna do? It's just strange how like the favoritism works, I guess. You know, I shouldn't have rejected a YouTube rep like however long ago. Rip for me, baby.
And then what quickly followed was the controversy where people questioned if he was the seasoned game developer he claimed he was. People combed through his work history, not really finding anything to do with game development. Some assumed he was a Nepo baby because his father worked for Blizzard and was very...
Well, yeah, of course it's going to help you out, and people are going to feel like they can't really say too much to you. So
influential there. Pirate himself did admit previously that when he was a teen, he did get a job due to nepotism, but that's the only time he admitted it.
My first
yeah, the only time. Like that doesn't make any sense.
job I got through nepotism.
Like I got my I worked at the bus company. My uncle had gotten the job, and he got me that job, right? So I did a good job when I was there. But at the end of the day, like that's why I got it, and I'm sure that people were a little easier on me because of that. I still did a good job.
100%. My dad worked at Blizzard for 23 years. He worked at Blizzard for 23 years, so I got a job there in 2004.
And people began deconstructing the games he had made, like Heartbound. Specifically, people like Coding Jesus looked at his code and basically
I remember that. That shit was fucking crazy. But I mean, I don't know, dude. It was silly because I remember that the biggest thing that like stuck out to me was that he would write code in a way where, like, if you had a box that you wanted to push, and let's say you could push like 30 boxes in the game overall, every single box push was individually coded instead of having like one code that you could implant into all of them so you could change them all at the same time, if that makes sense. And it's just like, it's just so weirdly inefficient and just like, so it was just ridiculous. It's like, what are you doing?
basically said this is not what you would expect from someone like Pirate Software with the credentials he has. Some noticed it was unoptimized in places, which Pirate did respond to, saying it was so optimized it could run on a smart fridge.
Yeah, but then on the smart fridge, you use this fridge as a screen and not as the actual like computer component part, you know?
Which was quickly disproven because the fridge was used more like a monitor, not the actual component running the game. And some criticised the fact that his game has taken years to come out and has been pushed back multiple times, and there have been straight up months without any updates, or updates that were severely lacking, and during that time he was playing games instead of working on said game. But
yeah, and then he was being a little bit of a furry degenerate guy.
that was where we were 3 months ago. Obviously that was the short version of most of the events. In my other video I go into more detail, but there are a plethora of other videos covering the same topic. And all of this could have been easily minimized if at any point he swallowed his ego and just uttered the words, "My bad." But he didn't and chose.
Well, I feel like at a certain point that's not really possible, you know? I don't think that was necessarily true. I think that it was one of those things where he just kept lying so much, people got sick of him. And it became like a thing where it was like no longer, it was just not going to happen anymore, you know?
To go down with his ship that was his ego, and unfortunately he has somewhat lost his platform because of that. But yeah, it's been 3 months and the internet has pretty much moved on from Pirate. But
I really genuinely don't see a way for him to like come back or like really be relevant anymore. He really fucked himself, honestly. Like he just destroyed his credibility so bad, and there's nothing he's necessarily that good at. So I don't really see what he could return with. You know, like what is he going to be able to return with? I just don't know, man. I don't know.
I just wanted to look at the aftermath.
He's not good at programming games. He's not good at video games. Like there's nothing that I don't know how good his commentary is. A lot of this insider information or the information he would talk about or knowledge, I think people are going to just fundamentally question at this point. I don't know, man. There's really nothing left. Like he's kind of, you know, it's tough. I mean, unless he gets his shit together. I don't know. I don't know if he would do that though. I wonder. I kind of feel like he's a little too full of himself to make any improvements, because he just has like a pretty big ego problem, in my opinion, at least. So
half of everything and go into what has been happening since.
I saw this woman breastfeeding her child in a non-optimal way, so
don't play it.
Being the kind man I am, I showed her how to do it correctly.
Well, as said before,
okay, I thought he was gonna play it. That's the moment when he started when Meat Canyon had him start sucking on his boobs or whatever. That's when it got really. That's when I got banned, dude. That was what the moment that I got marked in there. I got a infraction on the account, at least. That's what I meant.
Pirate lost a lot of his audience. On his YouTube channel, this equated to losing over 570,000 subscribers since January 2025, where he used to sit at 2,660,000 subs. He now, as of this video, sits at 2,090,000.
Damn. Well, I mean, the followers don't really matter, right? It's the engagement, and this engagement is fucking gone.
And to be honest, I can't think of another case where someone has lost more than 500,000 subscribers in 10 months. But he still sits at 2 million subscribers, which is...
Has he ever apologized? No, I don't think so. And I don't know if it would be productive. It's one of those things where like he just needs to be somebody that people can like look at and go like, oh, this guy's talented. Not to be fucking rude or anything, but I mean, like,
impressive, but he is actively bleeding around 50,000 subscribers per month.
Yeah, I mean, that might be good for him, maybe, in the long run. I mean, what it really is happening is people don't like him anymore, and nobody really... I would say that for the most part, people don't necessarily unfollow you right off the bat. They unfollow you when they see you in their algorithm, so they might see him in the algorithm and go, oh, fuck this guy. You know what I mean? Like, that's probably what they're doing.
And his viewership on his...
But the more you unfollow, the less, like... I mean, obviously, it's generally bad, but... that means that you're not going to get his stuff in your feed anymore, which means it's just going to reduce your ability to see it and ignore it, which kind of helps in some sense. Like, at least for me, when I've gotten like the biggest, like the biggest view, like follower drops is usually like, you know, as when I get like a surge of followers afterwards. So that's been my experience with that personally.
Latest videos have seen a decrease as well, but to be honest, he also doesn't upload as much. On Twitch, where he streams semi-regularly, he lost around 200,000 followers, and his average viewers per stream went from the ballpark of 10,000 to 2,000, which is still good, and he's still in the top percentile of streamers, but admittedly, it is quite the dip.
I mean, you know, not for nothing, but all he does is really put out short-form content. There's nothing long-form to really operate with, and that's one of his big issues, too. You know, he would probably learn that if he actually had to earn his spot as a streamer, but... I mean, realistically, like, you know, nobody's going to tune into... If you're doing 12-hour-long streams, nobody really wants to tune into a 12-hour-long stream after the stream is over. You know, if you're doing, like, a couple hours, there's a decent chance that people might be like, oh, wow, awesome. Like, I could take a look at this later when I'm off work. But if you're doing, like, really long... If you're doing, like, really long streams in the way that he does them, you kind of need to make some videos to put stuff out onto. Like, really streamer highlights, I guess you would really say, call them. You need to put out like some kind of streamer highlight, but he doesn't do that. So like nobody really can even see, like, you know, like if you see him in your page, what are you seeing? You're probably seeing him talk about like something on a YouTube short. And while shorts are obviously very important, you know, what does shorts redirect you to? Like long form content. If your long form content is all 12-hour streams, which they pretty much are, what are you redirecting people from too? That's a lot. You have to really like somebody to invest that much time into them at a time. But that if you redirect them to like an hour's long content or something, you're much better off. So if he's playing a game, like he really should be doing that. I don't really know why he's not doing that. He probably just doesn't care because he doesn't need the money, but...
Also, unfortunately, people do still show up in his comments and his Twitch streams to troll him, despite the majority of the internet forgetting about the situation, but he still does have somewhat of a platform. If we were to look on the bright side of this, he has more of a tight-knit community more than ever now, because there are people that still stuck around despite everything that happened and are still supporting Pirate, which is a small win for him. He still does his educational and somewhat uplifting shorts based on his experiences, which understandably people are
what is uplifting about his stuff? What?
A lot more skeptical after what happened.
Yeah.
I lived out of my car for about a year when I was much younger because I was a dumbass with my finances.
By the way,
Yeah, I don't know if I believe that. Unless like you wanted to live out of your car because you thought it was quirky and silly, because you know the nepotism and all that.
Question that he gets asked, and it's blatantly visible in the shorts. He has live experience of this. Oh, Pirate Software, I'm a recovering heroin addict. Got any tips? Well, when I was younger, I also...
In regards to stop killing games, which he was very much against, once again, it reached over its signature goal, partially thanks to the drama that surrounded Pirate. And
Wow, do you guys think that Pirate Software intentionally destroyed his career just to give a little boost to the stop killing games narrative? Some would say yes. I wouldn't, but...
The movement changed its goal to verifying the authenticity of the signatures so that it could properly pass, finding that 97% out of the 1,000,000...
look at those boobs.
448,000 signatures were valid, meaning it did successfully pass and would need to be addressed in some capacity by the EU. More recently, there is apparently a UK Parliament debate scheduled for November 3rd, 2025, and in multiple other countries similar things are occurring and related movements are being created in countries outside of Europe. So basically the petition passed and it is finally being discussed by governments. And Ross of Accused Farms, who was heavily pushing for this movement, is taking a much needed rest and talking about going back to his normal content, like his Freeman's Mind series, which he started 12 years ago. Going back to Pirate Software, people were still questioning if he actually was the person he says he was, specifically YouTubers like Quinthios, who basically turned...
Oh yeah, that was the guy who did the weird, like talk to your ex-coworker thing. I found that to be so fucking strange, honestly. Like, I know I said that already, but it was just fucking bizarre as fuck to me. Just felt a little too, I guess you'd say parasocial to go like that deep into it, you know?
Into more Pegasus for a moment when it came to pirate content. To be honest, he probably did take a page out of Pegasus's book. However, the main question was if Pirate Software really was this great game dev that wasn't a nepo baby and built himself up not on the back of his own father. Well, through Quinthios, a past Blizzard employee that worked with Pirate and...
Yeah, that's the fucking thing that was so strange to me. It's like too much to me.
And also lived with him, heard about the situation and came out with their experience with him. She showed proof that she worked with Pirate, showing a Blizzard yearbook of sorts from 2013, and to be honest, she didn't have the best of things to say about Pirate.
It was mostly that he was kind of messy and like a little annoying. It wasn't really something that was like worth it to me to be saying like weird shit like that. Like if I was somebody that was like hiring or whatever in Blizzard or any other company, I would have just never hired her again because it comes off as like so fucking parasocial. It's just strange. God damn it.
And just keep in mind, she is recounting a lot of this from when it happened 10 years ago. She firstly claimed when he did work at Blizzard in her area, he was very charismatic and got along with people, but it was very difficult to get him to work.
Problem. Don't get me wrong. He's very charismatic. He is easy to get along with socially. However,
You think she had a crush on him?
was
But I think he's gay, so it didn't work out for her, I guess.
very neglectful of actual work. He was hard to rein in. He was hard to get to focus on anything important. Like, he wanted to do what he wanted to do. And it wasn't like he was a jerk about it. Like, I don't want to misconstrue that at all. I'm sure everybody has seen his streams. Like, he pulls off the personality, you know? Like, he's nice to his coworkers.
And in one instance, he was given work and he just idled in the client and browsed Reddit.
He would just kind of create a character and idle in the client and then read Reddit. That's literally what he did. He sat in front of me and I was assigning the tasks. So not only did I see the work he was not doing, I saw what he was doing instead.
There was even one point where he allegedly requested another monitor for his work, but just browsed Reddit on it.
He requested
I think he got up to like 3 monitors at that point. Also, why is the save point so fucking horrifically far here?
a third display because he claimed he needed it for his bots when he started doing some automation testing. He just wanted it to have the extra space for Reddit, YouTube.
And they wouldn't really correct him on his behaviour because nothing really would get done about it, no matter how many times they escalated it to upper management, allegedly because his father was someone higher up at Blizzard.
So I talked to my manager and I talked to one of the department heads. Like, I talked to the manager over the project. And I was essentially told that no one is going to do anything because of who he is. And this has nothing to do with Joey Ray directly. Like, I want to make this very clear. I'm also friends with Joey Ray. Like, he is a mutual friend of friends. Okay, so like, I've had direct interactions. I know him well enough to say he would absolutely not do anything to help Jason.
And she also speaks about how most were afraid of doing things like writing him up or any disciplinary action because it could impact their careers in the future.
Maybe. Also, there's probably not like a whole lot going on with him that was like that bad. You know, he just seemed kind of like annoying and lazy sometimes. And it's probably, the entire industry is probably full of some of that too. But yeah, I'm sure he was being there's nepotism. But like I'm saying, like, what are we really finding out here? Oh, he'd be lazy at work sometimes? Okay, cool.
Here's how nepotism actually works, which Jason also doesn't understand. It does not look good on your future at Blizzard if you mess with an executive's son, period. Everybody knows who Jason is. If you write him up, if you fire him for misconduct or otherwise, people are going to know you did it. They're not going to know that anything was actually going on. They're just going to know you were the guy that fired Joey Ray's son. And your career
Well, you wouldn't be able to fire him, so, but I understand what you're saying.
is pretty much toast because everybody in the games industry knows each other too. He was allowed to do whatever he wanted to do because nobody would course correct him.
And she also shared they did a charity event for a children's hospital where they
he like raged out over League of Legends, I think, right?
played League of Legends to raise money, and he freaked out at his team for losing.
Hours straight. Pirate just happened to participate in this.
There's no way there's not a save here, right?
I was on his team for a league tournament and he screamed at our team for
Dude, bad picks, dude. She did bad picks.
apparently not gearing correctly to counter the other team. He was
kind of based.
just yelling across the floor at everybody.
It's a charity event, correct?
It was a children's charity event.
She also goes on to speak about living with Pirate, because she had a spare room at her apartment and
He was a messy boy, basically, is the TLDR of that. True.
coincidentally Pirate needed to move out of his dad's house, so she offered that spare room, and it only lasted a week because of instances where he would be screaming at people on the game EVE Online, his cat destroyed her chair which she never got paid back for, and he wasn't the cleanest of people.
It took days for him to start screaming at people on EVE overnight.
EVE Online. EVE Online.
Yes.
Okay.
The cat, that's totally non-destructive, straight up destroyed one of the chairs within the first week. And because it was patent leather, like the polyurethane stuff, he offered to tape it up for me, not replace it, and also tried to make it out like the cat never did anything to the chair. All the dishes everywhere, like the pans, still food in them on the stove, shit everywhere, food, countertops, everything everywhere. Like, it was not disgusting sty, but it was very just a fuck.
Yeah, it was messy. Fairs tend to be very messy. I'm sure that they are, dude. I understand. I'm just saying, does this seem like something that you really need to fucking complain about online? Come on.
Fucking mess.
And probably the most infamous part,
Like, to me, I don't think that she cared about being a like in the sphere anymore, I guess. So it was like, oh, I can talk shit and it won't really matter, you know?
the story, is when she looked at
And it seems like she wanted to be a content creator at that point too. Dude, this is insane. It's mostly insane. I don't know if there's supposed to be a save point closer. Like, am I just getting cucked or what?
the bathroom he was using, and it was also a mess.
I just turned on the hall light and I peeked in there, and the place was a fucking sty. He had never put up a shower curtain in the bathroom. There was like ashy stuff everywhere, like gray ash kind of looking spots everywhere, including like in the shower, on the floors, on the countertops. The toilet it had been a fucking week, and I could not understand the state of things.
But the worst part was the mysterious liquid on the walls.
He had
It
cleaned
was his sperm.
nothing, so
Probably.
I had to clean everything by hand. There was like, I don't know what on the walls in his bedroom, and you're just gonna have to like take my word for this. I don't know if it was snot or something else just like wiped here and there on the walls, and more of the like random gray stuff, just spots.
The arrangement didn't last very long, and she told him to move out, of which he did, but this also didn't help Pirate's case at the time. People now assumed nepotism played heavily in his career, at least in the past, on top of now he wasn't the cleanest of people. But that's if you trust the account of this previous co-worker.
I mean, I generally trust that some of those things are probably true. Like, generally speaking, I don't know if I believe at all like how extreme it was is true. You know, again, she seems like she's like opportunistic, trying to because she had like a Twitch. Like, it seemed like she was trying to platform her Twitch at that point. So
Pirate did somewhat respond to this, mainly addressing how people were apparently accusing him of not doing anything at Blizzard, so he showed his awards whilst working there. But at least one of those awards was actually mentioned in the interview, which was for the charity event which, despite his behaviour, he was still awarded. And the past co-worker also got one.
So they give us like these little cards whenever we do cool things at Blizzard. And this was related to the charity event. That was like thanking me for playing nice with my coworkers. And I'm like, oh wow, he got one of these too.
Apart from
hey, thanks for playing nice, dude.
that, he didn't respond to any of the other claims, like the mysterious liquid. But there was also one final situation going on at the same time, which was Pirate being accused of fraud involving Twitch's Hype Train feature.
Oh yeah. He might have like I think he may have tried to have like his friend also coordinate and like try to buy try to like buy subs for him so that he could, you know, get all fucking popular, get all these hype trains to make it seem like he's a real hype guy. I remember that.
Where viewers have to meet donation or subscription goals to get to the next level of the hype train. And Pirate beat that record at one point on a stream in April 2024,
He beat Kai Cenat?
which the VOD has now been deleted, but he got to level 106, beating all the previous records. However, on the same stream, Pirate accidentally shows his DMs with him and Kronos, his head mod, where they are discussing Kronos donating to keep the hype train going on an alt account and to donate in bits, so they could potentially get a return on that investment, of which he did go through with it. And the donation came across as a friend of Kronos, not actually Kronos.
Bean with 50,000 bits said IRL friend of Kronos and excited that they are now free from
50,000 bits? How much fucking money is that? I don't even remember anymore. I haven't been on Twitch in like years.
corporate.
I know.
Love your stream and what you do for people here.
He's probably just pissed because he's like, damn, I just gave all that money. I actually gave all that money. That's fucking crazy.
There aren't many cool or supportive streamers left once they get big like this. Stay cool, bud, and tell
You're just such a cool, supportive streamer, man. I really like that about you.
Kronos that Ben sends their regards.
I'm sorry you had to know Kronos in real life, just like me.
Now Kronos responded by saying
He was waiting for that one. He probably thought about that all day, dude, after he gave that guy money.
the VOD of this happening was deleted because people who donated were getting harassed, and that's also why he donated on his alt account. The fallout of this was some saying Pirate should be liable for litigation involving fraud, or at least banned on Twitch, because some interpreted the screenshot as him saying donate and I'll pay you back for the bits later. Pirate responded,
Does that really matter that much? I don't know. I mean, like, it's cringe, but is it really that big of a deal? You know, like a legal thing? I don't know.
to this saying it was Kronos' money and he could do whatever he wants with it, and that Kronos was not reimbursed for this.
That's against TOS, though? No, it is not against TOS. It is absolutely not against TOS to have somebody use their own money to buy subs and bits for the channel if they want to. That in no way was triggered by me, nor was he compensated for that or reimbursed for it.
Damn, no compensation. Come on, dude. You got to give him a little kiss on the forehead at that point.
And that is basically where things were left.
You heard this guy worked at Blizzard? Oh, man. Did you read that in a Reddit thread? Tell me about it in the unbanned request, chat hopper.
So that
I'm pretty sure Pirate's like insistent, maybe I'm misremembering, that he has never really talked about that before. So
is the aftermath of what happened after the main controversies surrounding Pirate software.
was it really that big of a deal? I think that it was one of those things where since people like fucking hated him at this point, it became a big deal to them. They were like, wow, this guy's super cringe. Like, and they wanted to like, oh, it might be illegal. I don't think it is illegal. I don't really think that really matters too much, but I think that was like the general sentiment. It's like, oh, we don't like him now. You know, it is cringe regardless, but then, you know, things get like a little disproportionate, and the criticisms get a little bit disproportionate once somebody, you know, after you commit the crime of being cringe, which, you know, that is life, man. Don't be cringe, you know? Don't be cringe.
And all of this basically happened due to a game of World of Warcraft and the refusal to admit fault at times. To be honest, if you look at it this way, Pirate Software has a lot of balls. It may just be arrogance, but he has watched the internet and even his own community turn against him to the point where he's lost a lot of his platform and influence. And despite all of this, he is still going and still to this day not admitting he was in the wrong. I'm sorry, but that's either peak delusion or honestly impressive. His major flaws were once again.
I also don't think that there is the lack of, in my opinion at least, the component where like I don't think that he's stressing for money, so I don't think that he like has to be like, guys, I was just you know, guys, it was not true. I'm so sorry. Like, he doesn't really have to do that, or at least he doesn't have to feel like he has to do that. So.
Again, mainly not admitting when he was wrong, especially surrounding a certain movement, how he reacts to criticism, and allegedly lying about some of his credentials. However, at the start, he did do some good as well. He inspired people to make games, educated them, and more recently, annihilated any imposter syndrome most people were feeling at their IT job because of the recent drama. He's still going, and I think he will be going for a lot longer. Once again, he does still have some people still supporting him despite everything that happened. And as I said in my previous video, I genuinely do hope he learns to admit fault down the road, or at least learn how to deal with criticism better. But for now, he's doing somewhat fine, and that's all I had to say, and bye-bye.
Damn.
So if
Well, that was a fun little blast from the kind of past, I guess. I mean, I don't really know if it was that much of a past. This was this year, but it feels like so long ago. I feel like when it comes to like all this online shit, I don't even measure by by time anymore. I measure by controversy. Oh man, this controversy happened. It's been such a long time. You know what I mean? It's fucking interesting. So